This is a Fulcrum Technologies screencast.
Hello there, I'm Rex Proctor. Thank you for joining me in this screencast. In this screencast, we're going to take a look at how you can apply specific font styles to your notes. So we're going to jump into a clip here and we're going to insert a note. This is a note. For certain note types, you can apply a font. So let's choose that font and style. I'm going to select some text, hit the Command T, and jump in here and choose one of my favorite fonts, which everybody knows is Gilroy. I'm going to apply that by right-clicking with the Command key held down, and I'm going to store that as my default font type, which will then become the default font type for any new things that I create. So let's jump into the next one and say this is a good looking font. Right? Pretty simple. So every single note of the type note will have that font. Now, if I have multiple note types, I want to have a different font for one. So let's add a note type and I'll call this Rex, and we'll add that. We'll pump in a few of those. We'll get rid of this. We'll set the color up to a fulcrumy purple. And let's input a note here. Oh, look at that. It's got another cool font type. That's from a past presentation and testing that I was doing. But let's adjust that and hit Command T. And we're going to use the Swiss Nord, but we're going to make it a bright green. And I'm going to hold Command. You can do this in any of the text editing note areas by just right-clicking, selecting the text, right-clicking, and storing that. So here I'm going to store that font just for the Rex type. Now let's double-click and we'll tab through. And if I click in there and I say Rex type, look at that. I get a specific type for each of the individual note types. So very cool. Anytime I use that, that note type is going to appear when I input. Now, let's say that you have some existing clips that you want to apply a note type style to. This menu is only accessible if you're in a composer or a timeline. Now, the reason being is you can't do a multi-select and have that appear in the inspector or in your overlays. So you have to do this operation in a timeline or a composer with clips selected. So let's open this up, and let's say I want to apply that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to select the text. I right-click with the Command key held down on the selected text, and I can apply that font to all the notes in the 56 selected clips or just to the Rex type. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll apply it, and notice that applied to all of them in that in those selected clips. So you can adjust that if you want to change that. However, it doesn't change the default. So if I go to another clip, you'll see that this is my favorite Gilroy font here, still applied. But you can override that and punch in those different font styles into selected clips. Remember to hold down Command and right-click on selected text in any of the note editors in the movie collection, in the inspector, or in the pop-ups for the clips.